Ice Cube isn't just a rapper, he lived the life he rapped about, drawing from his real-world experiences, which makes his music resonate on a deeper level, unlike many of his contemporaries. This multifaceted artist, known for his sharp lyrics and electrifying performances, stands out as a genuine representation of the gritty realities of the streets. From his early days in NWA, where tensions flared into controversies, to his transition into a respected actor and filmmaker, Ice Cube's journey is incredible. Over the years, he has faced off against formidable foes, including Suge Knight and Above the Law, showcasing not only his tenacity but his willingness to put everything on the line. His bold actions, and encounters reflect the fierce dedication he has to authentic storytelling. Beyond the music, Ice Cube's conflicts reveal a man shaped by adversity. He navigated through various feuds, some fueled by personal slights while others stemmed from misunderstandings. Each clash carved a new path in his career, making him not only a rap icon but also a cultural figure who continues to influence and inspire generations. While many may see him as merely a gangster rapper, his narrative goes much deeper, offering insight into the complexities of identity, reputation, and respect within a challenging industry. This exploration of Ice Cube's life unfolds a multifaceted story that is not just about the music but also about survival, resilience, and the unyielding spirit of a man who refuses to be silenced. Ice Cube's real-life gangster credibility. Ice Cube, born O'Shea Jackson, is often viewed merely as a gangster rapper, but his life experiences reveal a far more complex reality. Growing up in South-Central Los Angeles, Cube was immersed in a world where gang violence and street life were part of the daily fabric. Early on, he demonstrated that he wasn't just creating art, he was reflecting the harsh truths around him. His lyrics in hits like Straight Outta Compton resonated because they echoed real-life experiences he lived. Many may question his credibility due to his later success in Hollywood, but Cube himself never shied away from discussing his past. In fact, he has recounted several vivid stories that underscore the depth of his involvement in street life. One notable incident involved a confrontation where he faced a drug dealer who had manipulated a desperate situation to extract money from his mother. Furious, Ice Cube responded with a calculated rage, plotting revenge that could have ended tragically. This episode didn't define him, rather, it served as a pivotal moment that made him reconsider the path he was on. Ice Cube has stated that he was fortunate enough to escape the streets alive, and attributes his survival to both luck and the lessons learned during those volatile years. Despite his later ventures into film and family-friendly projects, Cube's authenticity as an artist stems from his rooted experiences. He stands as a testament to the fact that behind the persona of a gangster rapper lies an individual who truly navigated the perilous landscape of street life, blending reality with art in a way few can authentically replicate. The feared Suge Knight vs. Ice Cube showdown. In the world of hip-hop, few figures loomed larger than Suge Knight, the notorious CEO of Death Row Records, known for instilling fear among artists and executives alike. But Ice Cube was different, he wasn't easily intimidated, and their infamous showdown serves as a testament to that. At a time when Suge was solidifying his reputation as the industry's most feared man, Ice Cube, fresh off his departure from NWA, refused to back down. Tensions escalated at a music event, where Cube and Knight found themselves face-to-face. Eyewitness accounts describe a chaotic scene, with artists and industry insiders watching in disbelief as Cube, undeterred by Knight's imposing stature, squared off during a heated exchange. This was not just a clash of words, it turned heated quickly. Witnesses reported Ice Cube standing his ground, despite Suge's infamous reputation for violence. The crowd, filled with tension and anticipation, could sense the stakes. This fight showcased Cube's resilience at a moment when many were afraid to even mention Suge's name, let alone challenge him directly. As the confrontation unfolded, it became a defining moment, not only for Ice Cube but for the entire hip-hop industry, serving as a reminder that even in a world dominated by fear, some artists would rise to challenge that very fear. Ice Cube's fearlessness would eventually solidify his place in hip-hop history as someone who stood toe-to-toe with one of the most notorious figures in the game, proving that resilience and courage could still prevail in the face of intimidation. Ice Cube's near-fatal street incident. In a shocking turn of events, Ice Cube found himself at a crossroads between violence and survival. One day, a local drug addict came to his mother's house, spinning elaborate lies to gain her sympathy. The man, desperate for money, manipulated her into giving him $20, which was a significant sum for the family. Furious and feeling violated, Cube learned of this deceit and it sent him into a rage. He and a friend decided to take matters into their own hands and armed themselves. They fully intended to confront the man, with thoughts of retribution racing through their minds. However, when they arrived at the man's home, they were met with an empty house. Cube's anger turned to frustration. He had been ready to enact revenge for the violation of his family's trust. Reflecting on the situation years later, he admitted that this moment was a blessing in disguise. If the man had been home, things could have escalated dramatically, leading to events that could have altered his life forever. He remarked that he could have easily ended up in a different place, somewhere dark and unforgiving. Instead, he realized how close he had come to crossing a line that might have extinguished his career, and possibly his life. This near-fatal incident not only shaped his perspective on violence but also served as a pivotal point, urging Ice Cube to focus on his music and career. In his own words, he wouldn't be the Ice Cube we know today without that defining moment, reminding us all about the thin line between life choices and fate. Feuds with Above the Law and the lynch mob brawl. After Ice Cube left NWA, tensions rose quickly with the group Above the Law, which had ties to the East Coast. The feud began to brew when Above the Law's member questioned Cube's street credibility, which was a direct attack on his reputation. During this time, Ice Cube was at the height of his career, gaining notoriety for his bold lyrics and unapologetic persona. This rivalry became physical at the New Music Seminar in 1990. Tensions reached a boiling point, leading to what would become a notorious brawl. Ice Cube confronted Above the Law member Cold 187 leading to a series of heated exchanges. When the confrontation escalated, fists started flying. It was a chaotic scene, with both sides showing no hesitation in throwing punches. Witnesses described the scene as wild, with chaos erupting in the dressing rooms. Cube, known for his fierce demeanor, held his own during the brawl, despite being outnumbered. Ice Cube's crew, the lynch mob, also known for their toughness, intervened to stand by Cube's side. The lynch mob didn't back down either, and the fight reflected the intense competitive atmosphere of the hip-hop scene at the time. In the end, the fight solidified Ice Cube's reputation as someone not willing to back down, regardless of the odds stacked against him. The conflict between Ice Cube and Above the Law highlighted the sometimes brutal reality of the music industry, where not just lyrical battles, but physical confrontations could happen at any moment. This feud set the stage for numerous altercations in the future, as tensions ran high in Los Angeles hip-hop culture. Controversial beef with Common and East Coast rap. The beef between Ice Cube and Common emerged as a pivotal moment in hip-hop history, especially during the 1990s, when East Coast versus West Coast rivalries were rampant. Common's track, I Used to Love Her, sparked controversy, as it reflected hip-hop's evolution from its roots to a more commercialized version of the genre. Cube perceived it as a slight against West Coast rap's dominance, which led to heightened tensions. Ice Cube, known for his raw and aggressive lyrical style, felt that Common's song painted a picture that undermined the significance of West Coast artists. The insinuations that Cube was somehow less authentic because of his successful foray into the mainstream hit a nerve, fueling a back-and-forth exchange of diss tracks. This conflict wouldn't remain in the shadows. The resolution came during a historic peace summit organized by Minister Farrakhan. This event sought to calm the escalating tensions within the hip-hop community. Despite this attempt at reconciliation, the undercurrents of rivalry persisted, as both artists continued to uphold their respective sides. Cube later noted that he had even written a response track to Common, though it never saw the light of day due to the intervention of Farrakhan. This conflict exemplifies how personal and artistic differences can lead to larger cultural battles within hip-hop, showcasing the pressures of maintaining authenticity while navigating the commercial landscape of the industry, ultimately highlighting the complexities and nuances of loyalty in the rapidly evolving world of rap music. Ice Cube vs. NWA fallout. The fallout between Ice Cube and NWA marked a significant turning point in the history of hip-hop. In 1989, Ice Cube left the group over money disputes, feeling he wasn't fairly compensated for his contributions, which were crucial to the success of their groundbreaking album, Straight Outta Compton. This departure led to a bitter rivalry, sparking a series of diss tracks, public confrontations, and heated interviews. NWA's response was swift and fierce, as they unleashed their anger in tracks like 100 Miles and Runnin', making it clear they were not going to let Cube walk away quietly. The tension escalated, drawing in media attention, as Ice Cube became a focal point of discussions about artistic integrity and financial exploitation in the music industry. One notable incident occurred when Dee Barnes, a prominent presenter, interviewed NWA, and the atmosphere turned tense with jabs aimed at Cube. This demonstration of hostility was emblematic of how deeply personal the feud had become, transcending mere artist disputes to reflect broader societal issues. As the rivalry continued, it began to involve others in the industry, further complicating relationships within the hip-hop community. Ice Cube would later respond to NWA's attacks with his own sharp retorts in tracks like No Vaseline, solidifying his reputation as one of the most formidable lyricists in rap history. The hurtful exchanges, coupled with the palpable animosity, not only changed the dynamics of NWA but also highlighted the harsh realities of the music business, exposing the struggles artists faced regarding contracts, respect, and loyalty in a cutthroat industry. This rivalry ultimately contributed to a shifting landscape in hip-hop, as both Ice Cube and NWA would leave indelible marks on the genre, influencing future generations of artists. The Dr. Dre and Dee Barnes incident. In the volatile world of hip-hop, few events resonate like the violent encounter between Dr. Dre and Dee Barnes. This incident highlighted the darker side of fame and the intense emotions that accompany it. It all unfolded at a Def Jam Records party where, after years of tension, Dre confronted Barnes. According to reports, Dre, furious about how an interview had portrayed him, lost control. Witnesses described a scene where he picked Barnes up by her hair and began slamming her head against a brick wall, his bodyguard standing by, ensuring no one could intervene. The attack was brutal, a grim testament to how personal conflicts in the industry could escalate dangerously. Barnes managed to escape but feared for her safety as Dre continued to pursue her. In a harrowing recount of the incident, Barnes detailed how she felt vulnerable, caught in a situation spiraling beyond control. This attack, shocking as it was, didn't go unnoticed. Members of NWA openly discussed it in interviews, with some justifying Dre's actions and brewing further controversy around the incident. Dre later commented casually about the event, deflecting any responsibility. He claimed it was just another day in the industry, a mindset that contributed to the toxic atmosphere. Barnes, feeling the repercussions of said altercation, chose to take legal action against Dre, suing him for $22.75 million. However, the case was quietly settled out of court, reflecting the hush-hush nature often seen in celebrity disputes. This incident remains a stark reminder of the volatile intersection of art, violence, and personal vendettas within the hip-hop culture. The feud with Cypress Hill. The drama started with a Friday movie soundtrack, which Ice Cube curated. One of the standout tracks on the album was Roll It Up, Light It Up, Smoke It Up, a Cypress Hill song. The group had agreed to contribute that track, but according to Be Real, a member of Cypress Hill, the real problem began when Ice Cube heard another song during their studio session. While listening to tracks for the movie, Ice Cube got a sneak peek of Cypress Hill's upcoming album, Temples of Boom. They played him Throw Your Set in the Air, their lead single. Cube loved the song and wanted it for the Friday soundtrack instead. Cypress Hill politely declined, since it was the title track for their upcoming project. You know, we played him the song and he liked it. He said, yeah, that's perfect. You know, me and Muggs asked him, hey man, you know, we got a couple of tracks from the album you want to hear? We played him a song called Throw Your Set in the Air, and he was like, oh, that's bang. Can I get that for the movie instead? They were like, man, we'd love to give it to you, but you know, this is going to be the single on our album. Fast forward to the release of the Friday soundtrack, which came out shortly before Temples of Boom. A friend of Be Real heard one of the songs on the soundtrack and called him, saying, did you let Ice Cube use one of your album tracks for Friday? Confused, Be Real explained that they had only given Cube Roll It Up, Light It Up, Smoke It Up. But the friend wasn't talking about that track. He was referring to something that sounded suspiciously like Throw Your Set in the Air. Skeptical at first, Be Real listened to Cube's track and his heart sank. The hook sounded eerily similar to their song, with only minor tweaks to the lyrics. This was the tipping point for Cypress Hill. Be Real went back to his crew, told them what happened, and they decided it was time to take action. The group released No Rest for the Wicked, a scathing diss track aimed squarely at Ice Cube. Confrontation with Cam and Solo. In the bustling streets of Los Angeles, tensions often boil over, especially in the cutthroat world of hip-hop. One pivotal moment in Ice Cube's career unfolded when he encountered fellow artists Cam and Solo at a traffic light. This seemingly innocent meeting turned volatile, as a long-standing feud over business dealings festered beneath the surface. Cam and Solo felt wronged and were quick to show aggression when they came face-to-face with Cube. According to Solo, this encounter escalated rapidly, words exchanged led to a physical confrontation. In the heat of the moment, Solo claimed he got the better of Ice Cube during this altercation, further igniting the animosity that had been brewing for months. It was in this chaotic scuffle that Ice Cube's chain ended up in Solo's possession, a trophy of their clash. Later, Solo seized the opportunity to flaunt this victory, holding the chain up at a Cypress Hill concert to the delight of the audience. This public demonstration of dominance not only humiliated Cube but also fueled the rivalry further. It showed that in the world of rap, not all battles are fought with lyrics, sometimes they spill into the streets, where pride is at stake. Cube's response to the entire situation was measured yet firm, as he refused to let this incident define him, choosing instead to focus on his music and legacy. However, the encounter with Cam and Solo serves as a reminder of the fierce loyalties and rivalries that can ignite in the fast-paced world of hip-hop, where every encounter can change the course of an artist's career. Ice Cube's story is not just about music, it's about resilience, integrity, and staying true to one's roots. Throughout his career, he transformed challenges into opportunities, showing that he was more than just a rapper. Rising from a turbulent environment, Ice Cube created a legacy that influenced not just hip-hop, but culture as a whole. He faced numerous feuds and controversies, but he always stood firm, fighting for his credibility and beliefs. His confrontations with figures like Suge Knight, Common, and even members of his former group, NWA, illustrate the intense rivalries that shape the hip-hop narrative. However, despite these tumultuous episodes, Ice Cube found ways to navigate through the storm. He sought redemption, forgiveness, and unity, demonstrating growth and maturity. Ultimately, he remained a fierce advocate for the West Coast rap scene, refusing to back down in the face of adversity. Through his music, narratives, and public persona, Ice Cube has shown that the essence of hip-hop lies in storytelling, authenticity, and a relentless spirit. His journey reminds us that success is often born out of struggle, and it's the ability to rise above and evolve that truly defines a legend. As audiences, we can learn from Ice Cube's experiences, understanding that behind every aggressive lyric, there is a personal story, and a testament to the power of art in expressing one's reality, creating connections, and influencing future generations. Ice Cube's legacy is, without a doubt, a lasting impact that continues to resonate, inspiring countless artists and fans alike.